is not a thing. Keep the wins quiet, then we celebrate the losses. Then you start getting called boss by the bosses. Dead bodies, yellow tape wrapped around cautious. My rep is impeccable, my reputation's.
Welcome to another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. I'm your brother, old guy from Hip Hop News Uncensored. And sitting across from me is my co-host.
What it do? What's good? It's your brother Sam Ant, Viral Hip Hop News. You're in the building. Another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. Oh God, what's good, my brother?
What's poppin', family? Another episode in the books. First and foremost, we want to say peace out to everybody that's listening on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. We do appreciate it in advance, man. We're gonna be dropping a lot of podcasts, so make sure you get real comfortable with us, and please just share this link, if you can. But yeah, man, we in the building today, man. We got quite a lineup, today. Once again, we're gonna be talking about Quincy Jones, addressing the R. Kelly situation, Colin Kaepernick once again, also Billy Porter. We forgot to cover that one a few days ago, the Oscar situation with the dress. Got some other topics too, man, that we're gonna be talking about today. So I'm definitely excited to be in the building. And yeah, man.
We got a nice little mix-up, big dog. We got a nice little mix-up for the iTunes, Spotify listeners, for the YouTube listeners. We're gonna mix it up. We had a lot of people hitting us up while we were sharing the content, letting people know to go jump on the iTunes, letting us know, man, listen, y'all ain't dropped content since November. What's good? Yeah. What's up, man? We want to hear it. So we appreciate everybody out there asking us. You're going to get your what you're asking for. We're about to hit you with nonstop content every week from here on out. We do appreciate it. And also, let me say this right here. Let me make this public announcement. Oh, God.
Yes, sir.
Because there's been a lot going on with the name. What's Sam Ant's name? Is it Sandman or is it Sam Ant? SAMANT. It is Sam Ant. Let's get that clear for everyone listening, the loyal listeners that are having that discussion of Sandman. I can't fucking respond to everybody. It's not easy to.
Yeah.
But people care, man, and we appreciate it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's dope, actually, man. I know a lot of, even on my channel, they always asking. But, yeah, man, Sam Ant, so we do appreciate, the support from everybody out there, man. So, yeah, man, also make sure y'all go social media. Instagram is the Uncensored Truth Podcast. Go follow us there. Also, Twitter. What's that? The Twitter handle is
it's Uncensored Truth, but it's the number 2 on the back. And I don't know why Twitter did that, but you could type in Uncensored Truth, and we're supposed to be the H. Put the number 2.
Okay,
and you'll find us right there, man. We're getting great response over there already. Shout out to everyone jumping on our Twitter and showing us love, man. We do appreciate it for sure.
Facts, man. So yeah, man, it's been kind of the news has been pretty crazy, over the last couple of weeks, with the R. Kelly getting arrested and a lot of different things have popped off. But Quincy Jones, who, we all know his history, music and, what all he's done, was pretty much tracked down, by TMZ. And they asked him about R. Kelly. And what he said was very, very interesting. So I'm going to play this clip here and we can talk about this definitely. Here we go.
R. Kelly getting indicted finally.
What do you think about it?
I mean, it's kind of a sad it's kind of a sad day in Chicago today.
It's been there going on a long time, man.
All right, here we go. You think at the end of it all, whatever happens is supposed to happen?
Power.
Hey, do you think Jussie Smollett can be forgiven?
Yeah, because I love him. I met him when he was 4 years old.
Man, and do you think
he's stupid, dog?
Do you think his career is over though, Quincy?
Yeah.
You think it's done? He can't do a comeback?
No, that's the way it works, man. Today the information goes so.
All right, so that's Quincy Jones, talking about Jussie Smollett, but R. Kelly, and what he said was pretty, I thought interesting. What he said, what do you expect? He married Aaliyah at the age of 14, years old. What do you think about that, though, Sam, man? Just hearing that, statement from Quincy Jones.
Well, Quincy Jones has never been one to shy away from controversy, shy away from saying what's on his mind. I remember last year sometime where he had, I believe, I don't know what magazine it was with, maybe with GQ or some other publication, where he talked about Michael Jackson. He talked about Richard Pryor sleeping with Marlon Brando or Marlon Brandao, however you want to say it, tomato. But he really went in on how on a lot of things that were very controversial, had a lot of people talking, a lot of people going in on him. So when you hear him say things like this in regards to the R. Kelly situation, being very candid, things that we said here on this podcast, though, I mean, I think we both expressed the sentiment that when the second you go ahead and marry a 14-year-old, 15-year-old girl, no matter who she is, and she happened to be Aaliyah, that you have a very serious situation going on mentally where you may need potential help for sure. Right. And I think that Quincy Jones was expressing the same sentiment, doing it in the way he is. He is getting older now. So, I mean, what did you expect?
I mean, I think, a lot of people feel the same way. And we talked about here, people kind of knowing, and even the crazy part about this, he talks about marrying Aaliyah at 14, but then you listen to Michael Avenatti, who was like the leading, attorney who got the videotapes, supposedly, allegedly on R. Kelly, said that in the videotapes that it was repeated references of him, referring to her as a 14-year-old girl. So it's just crazy and sick, to see, how all this kind of played out. Because I would say like maybe a month and a half ago, we kind of thought that this dude was invincible. I think we even said it, like he's untouchable. But now, we see him getting locked up, posting bail. I think somebody else posted the bail for him. And now Quincy Jones speaking on this, man, I think it's pretty crazy. But still, man, I was listening to some commentary, a few people, and a lot of people seem to think who were around R. Kelly, that Chicago area for the first trial, that he may be about to win this again. They're not really rushing to, R. Kelly's going to be, guilty of this. They kind of think that he may find a way to beat this just because of the time, 20 years and the time span of all this.
I'll put it to you like this. Now, I find that really hard to believe, given the fact that he got off on the first case, whether the whole tape came out, and for whatever reason, and we all hear the rumors now on why we believe he got off, but nonetheless, he got off. I don't see that happening again. Oh God, I really don't. I don't see lightning striking twice for R. Kelly. I see this kind of being in the same situation as like an O.J. Simpson trial, where we all knew that he was guilty, but we all wanted him to be innocent. And when he was found innocent, even though it was injustice, we took victory in that because it's always typically happened to us. That being said, when he got caught up again, if OJ would ever get caught up again, that motherfucker wasn't getting out. I feel like this is almost the same situation. And when you add the lifetime, when you add the interviews, when you see the whole thing that culminated all throughout the year with, I forgot her name, but the young lady and then her father and all of that whole debacle, and then Lifetime and now this, I think we see ourselves in a situation where whether or not he is innocent, whether or not the evidence is outstanding and the defense can put together a defense to where it's outstanding in the sense of R. Kelly being innocent, I still don't see him getting away, man.
Yeah, man, but we shall definitely see, because, did they give when does he due to go on trial? Did they give any indication of that? He's due back in court soon.
March 22nd.
Okay. And they'll probably set a trial from there. So, we'll see, man. It's going to be very interesting, though, to see, as more and more stuff comes out through the trial, we'll be covering that and seeing what exactly, happens. Always the presumption is that he's innocent. You know what I mean? We have to, just stay on that side of it. But it just kind of looks like, with all they talking about, they got videotapes this time, and it could be over for him. Definitely.
What's your personal thought? I know we don't usually throw our personal thought, but just your perspective on this, man. Do you feel as though, from just a man's perspective, not a man, old guy's perspective, that he deserves any jail time for this?
If he did it, yeah. Like if he actually did, was really doing that, those videos are real, that's really him with 14-year-old girls, yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? But if there's a lot of evidence, that points to, some things being fabricated, whether it be on, her side, the accusers, lies and different things like that, then I could be skeptical about certain aspects of the case. But I'll be watching to see, how the evidence is laid out. But if he did do this with 14-year-old, absolutely, he should be in jail.
Now, let me ask you this question. This isn't going to be an easy one, but let's just take it to this gray area. If in fact this is him with the girls, now we all know from a morality standpoint that man deserves to be in jail and deserves to be under the jail. But let's just say, from just a legal standpoint, his lawyers can come up with a plot to say, hey man, this is beyond the statute of limitations, this is too old, blah 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 blah, and they have a case, and I'm not sure if they do. I'm just talking right now, and they ended up having the strong enough case for him to beat this. What should happen to R. Kelly? Does he still deserve jail time in your mind? Does the evidence? What I'm saying is, if they have the evidence to portray the case that this is beyond statute of limitations, according to the book of law, he deserves to be out. Are you leaning toward the side of, okay, he deserves to be out based off of evidence and based off of the book term, or are you more leaning toward the morality?
I'm looking at the, like full, like, do they have evidence of this being him? You know what I'm saying? That actually, well, with all these women when they were at this age, at 14, not there, no discrepancy of age, but like if you could prove that they were 14, it was him in the video. The DNA matches, then yeah, the dude, I think he should go away. But if I start seeing discrepancy, because again, we didn't see the defense yet. All we're hearing is about what the prosecution has. But once the defense fights that and say, okay, you said this, but this is what it really was, then things can start changing. So that's why they go to court, for both sides to be weighed. But personally, I kind of feel like he's going to lose. I just feel like that.
Do you think it'll be because he'll get a fair share, or you think the evidence will stand toward him being that man in that video doing those?
Well, they saying they have DNA evidence, and
weird.
Yeah, but they saying they have it. So I mean, unless they don't, unless that's some type of a lie, or they can prove some other way that it's not his DNA, some other, I think that's going to be huge right there. Now, if they didn't have DNA evidence, then it's all up. It's all speculation. Not only DNA, videotape.
Now that videotape's enough for me.
Right, yeah.
If I see dude on the videotape saying what he's saying to that, and it being a girl, that's enough for me.
I don't care what year it was made.
Exactly. I don't give a fuck what year it was made. If you see him doing something that wild and it's him on tape, that's enough. Point blank.
And like
period.
I said, it's so sick to what they're saying on the videotape. He's like, come here with your 14-year-old, like crazy stuff like that. Like the dude is really, allegedly taking it, the sickness to the extreme, So if he did this, he needs to sit in jail definitely for a while for this, because this is predatory behavior, on a vulnerable, the most vulnerable, part of our society. Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely, man. But yeah, man, you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and Sandman. Going in today on this Tuesday, I want to say peace to everybody listening on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. If you can, please just share this link with a friend. Tell them that the Uncensored Truth podcast is on the air right now. I want to move to this next story, Sandman, and talk about, the Oscars, but most notably, Billy Porter, who,
Infrared beam, infrared 6. Hopped out looking like a Fed trip. Niggas said a lot, I never said shit. Set trip that could get you red dead quick. Wild cowboys that never made a lot of noise. 5%ers in the 90s told us build and destroy. Down from the 6 and 4, we them youngsters with the boy. I'ma go and grab a toy, then the people hit the door. Years later, Hefe boots lost Aldos, albino gator. I ran the trap like a label, I could sign a hater. Your hands out, you trying to
out, man, but you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and Sandman. Going in today on this Tuesday, everybody that's listening on YouTube, I need you to do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that like button right there on the screen and make sure that you share this video. I'm going to jump to this next story, Sandman. We want to go and talk about Colin Kaepernick once again, because the story came out that pretty much that the XFL was pretty much, wanted to bring Colin Kaepernick over there as opposed to going to the NFL. But he was pretty much asking, for $20 million. So they pretty much, didn't have the money to give him. But it brought up a question once again, with Colin Kaepernick. And I played an excerpt from Stephen A. Smith going in about Colin Kaepernick's settlement with the NFL. And we talked about it, in the segment last week. But there's another angle that I want to, kind of approach right here. And I want to play this Stephen A. Smith excerpt. And then I want to talk about Colin Kaepernick and just talk about another, dynamic of this. Here we go. Here's Stephen A. Smith.
I think the people who have supported and tried to martyr him look very, very good. Let me be very, very clear about that. Having said all of that, as a black man, his willingness to bring attention to issues that have plagued our community, I'm incredibly grateful to him for that, which is why I have supported him. I also believe that he has been blackballed. I don't care what anybody says. I definitely think that there is credence to that argument. But I'm going to tell you exactly why I don't think that he looks good. I don't know whether it was the Washington Post or where it was that I read this article, Max and Will. But there was a statement in there. There's a line in there. And it said, whether it was Washington Post, New York Times, I forget where it was. It says, justice and liberty dies in the dark. Well, here's where the problem lies. What did you win, Colin Kaepernick? I want to know the money. I want to know what the details of the settlement are. That's what I want to know. You don't sit up there and get martyred by everybody and their grandmother. All of these over the last 2 years, with everybody making a case about how he's being blackballed, he's being ostracized, and all of this other stuff. You don't get to sit up there and send out tweets thanking Rihanna and other stars who refuse to perform at halftime for the Super Bowl in protest in support of you, because their belief was that you had been blackballed. And there's a nation of folks, particularly from the minority community, that have been standing up, screaming, hooting, and hollering about how you have been ostracized, how you have been mistreated. And then all of a sudden you quietly reach a settlement and we don't know what the hell it entails. That's my problem with all of this. It says here, as part of that confidentiality agreement, it is believed both sides signed a non-disclosure agreement agreeing not to speak publicly about the details of the case or the settlement. So we don't know what the owners have sacrificed. We don't know what concessions have been reached. We don't know whether you're the sole individual that benefits. The causes that you wanted to bring attention to, that you were insistent that the NFL and society as a whole addresses. We don't know whether or not NFL owners, the league, the Players Association, or anybody else exactly what they're going to do in order to address your concerns. And all I'm saying is that for me personally, again, I don't want the decision to be in the dark. Whatever it is, I don't care what it is. But I think that because of what this morphed into, people have a right to know something other than, oh, we're not going to disclose any detail.
All right, that's Stephen A. Smith. This was about a week ago or so, where he, spoke out. Saying, man, what do you think? Because I remember, you stood in your square when you pretty much, were saying you don't think that Colin Kaepernick should even go back. You think it's a loss. So speak on, this excerpt, from Stephen A. Smith, man. What do you think about this?
Well, we talked about this months ago, man. And I said, dare I ask, man, if he does go back, is he a sellout? And it was a bold question to ask at that time, given the fact that he was knee deep in the situation. He's being blackballed. We're right in the NFL season. And I'm like, well, listen, if you really look at it, he's doing so much more outside and off the field than he's doing on the field. And if he went back and went and opened himself up to the ridicule, opened himself up back to the nonsense, and just almost said, thank you for giving me a job back, it almost is like this is a loss. It's a loss for the cause. And then, we had numerous people in here, great people, having different discussions on it, people that played football, people that just gave the perspective from the game, perspectives that we appreciate, but nonetheless, It still never took me off of my stance of, if he went back to the NFL, it's a loss. It's a real loss for the people, because like Stephen A. said, like we've said numerous times, what exactly has changed? What exactly has the NFL done? And they had some fancy commercials on Super Bowl during the commercials, and they've done a lot of little public things here or there. But what's really going on? Now, people ask themselves, what should the NFL do? Well, when you got 80 to 85% of your league and they're black and they're dealing with issues outside and off the NFL field, if they weren't under the protection of the shield, so to speak, and if they weren't, some of them even aren't under the protection of the shield when they go out here and take their helmets off, and they're dealing with issues off the field. Why isn't it an issue of yours when they're taking in and making billions of dollars off of these people? Yes, it is an issue.
And they come out of the inner cities as well. And like Stephen A. Smith said, you had all these people who put their, careers on the line. People said, we're fighting for you to make an under the table deal and not tell nobody, then walk back into the same league. Like, what the fuck is the stance?
No.
What are the NFL, or the charities and stuff that you set up? We need to know this, but go ahead though.
This is what I wouldn't have a problem with Colin Kaepernick, man. And I'm gonna be honest with you.
No doubt.
If he said fuck the NFL and took his money because he got blackballed and got an undisclosed amount and never went back to the field, I wouldn't have a problem with him not saying a word. I wouldn't have a problem with it. I genuinely won't, because I questioned, and when Stephen A. Smith talked, I was questioning the entire time he was speaking, what do you care about the money for? But then at the end, when he tied everything into what he said, and it's like, okay, I don't care what the amount is. If you're going to do this and walk back into the league, the people deserve to know. I'm like, yes, you're 100% right. If you're going to walk back into the NFL where people think that you may be selling out, so to speak, and even going back, and people can understand and maybe even look past that, then damn, man, let people know. You got to let people know, because half of me was saying, yeah, it's nobody's business. But if you walk back in the league, given everything that happened around this, and just act like everything's okay,
I mean,
it's a money grab.
If you start the protest, let's say you protested, job you was working at, you know what I mean, and you had all these people behind you, and then all of a sudden you're back into that job and nothing's actually changed, like the different charities and things you set up, that's supposed to be combating, whether it be, you're donating to organizations that are against police brutality or whatever, you're setting up. People don't have no account of what's going here and where. I think that's questionable a little bit. I think that Stephen A. Smith, brought up some real, great points, and he's asking for 20 million, from the XFL. So then you got your price tag out there now, what I mean? And, and a lot of people saying what happened. People's putting in the comment section, you know what I mean, about Malcolm Jenkins and everything. And, remember that situation that happened, and people just wanting to really just get the bag.
It's cashing in on all this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Seeing a real good money situation, which is very sad, needs to be questioned and called out. And then it's going to raise a better question, because before this podcast came on, you and I were talking about our favorite season, and it was the summertime right before training camp, because it brought back great childhood memories. But the harsh question really has to be, because we boycotted the league and we didn't do the league in support of Colin Kaepernick when they blackballed him, no one watched. Is it going to be time for us to really blackball even all the bullshit around it, the Malcolm Jenkins of the world that may potentially be cashing, even potentially we'll find out if the Colin Kaepernicks need to be thrown into this mode. Should we just be boycotting this bullshit altogether, because all of them are in cahoots together and they just all got a whole separate money grab agenda going on?
It still remains to be seen, again, when he probably will go back into the league, we have to see what'll happen. Will he still take a knee? What is the policy now going forward with players that still want to protest? I'm sure players still want to do that, regardless of if he's doing it or not. It might be other players say, look, I don't want to, nothing's changed really, just because he got a bag. People are still getting killed in the street. There's still police brutality. So I'm still going to protest. Is the NFL now going to blackball these people? We don't even know none of that.
Let me ask you a
another
question.
Point that he brought up.
Let me ask you a question as far as even the kneeling is concerned. Is it enough now for Colin Kaepernick to even kneel? Because they can take the kneel and really cash in on that now. They really can. Him being a symbol of the kneel, him being a symbol of that, and the whole conversation that it came about, it's really a cash cow now. It really is. But let's say, for example, he plays the game, and after the game, he has reporters around him, and Colin Kaepernick is saying nothing. That heartfelt speech that we heard a couple months ago, close to a year ago, well over a year ago now, excuse me, that kind of propelled this whole situation that we played on the podcast last week. Are we going to get more of those? Or are we going to get just a nice, quiet Colin Kaepernick? What exactly entailed within that non-disclosure agreement for that money did you sign? Did they sign to shut the fuck up and this is how you're getting back into the league?
Right.
You're a sellout if that happened.
Right. Because they probably gave him, pain and suffering, plus what he was supposed to make, I guess, playing in the NFL. He probably made a good little, penny. He's obviously capitalizing off of it, with the Nike, the 7 jerseys and all. I'm not mad at him for none of that. But if you're going to stand for it. Don't be taking those side deals on the side. And right now, we just don't really know all the details of it. But I think with time, it all should come to the light. And this won't be the last time we're talking about
Hell no. We'll find out if it's hush money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Oh God, and Sandman over there from Viral Hip Hop News, man. We going in today on this Tuesday afternoon, man. We want to say peace to everybody that's listening on Spotify, Google Play, and any other audio platform.
Indeed, man. Oh God, wanted to talk about this real quick, man. Kind of break the mode.
Yes, sir.
I got a lot of friends, man, that are real.
From us or a sign from us is come together against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to?
Hopping out the Lex, I felt like Malcolm X. Marching with the shooters like Martin Luther. 40 cal SK or the fucking Ruger. Don't ever question if I got the heart to shoot.
Cast, man. It's one more actually story on the trending, section. I forgot that we have to do. It's this Momo thing that's pretty much been going around. Just a brief description that was pretty much, the kids watching a regular video.
Yeah,
this creature pops up, but it's a hideous looking creature that pops up on the screen and pretty much influences the kid to either commit suicide or do some other crazy, type thing. It's spreading all around the UK. It's called the Suicide Game. It looks like something out of a scary movie. You know what I mean? And right now it's trending, so we want to just talk about, that as well as, YouTube, going through what they're going through. Some more changes. Once again, they had some situations with some crazy stuff on child video. So what do you think about what does this say to you, Sam? Another episode of the Uncensored Truth podcast in the books, man. My man Riz 609, in Conway, about to let that blaze, here on the way out here. Obviously, if you're sitting and watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit the like button. Google, Spotify, or whatever other platform. Please share this video with at least one person. We do appreciate it.
We definitely appreciate it, man. Shout out to everyone listening. Shout out to everybody watching the Uncensored Truth podcast right now. We will be back on Thursday evening for another dope episode. And check us out live on Hip Hop News Uncensored, the exclusive home for the Uncensored Truth podcast, as well as obviously the Uncensored Truth podcast official channel. Make sure if you're listening and you're watching, you subscribe to each and every motherfucking place we tell you to do it right now. Viral Hip Hop News Uncensored, the Uncensored Truth podcast official channel, and of course all 3 audio platforms, man. Yeah. We love this shit, man.
Yes, sir.
We be back, Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday. Right back at it, man.
Indeed.
Friday night, the live show. Just keep pushing.
Just keep pushing, man.
Yes, sir. Definitely, man. Mike Bibby's under investigation for sexual abuse. There's something else that popped up.
Old basketball player, right?
Yeah, he's a coach at college. It's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, you will see a lot of this coming from our era, the 90s, 2000 era, man, because social media wasn't around.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you could do that you can't do nowadays, and a lot of that darkness is going to start coming to light.
Right.
Unfortunately, some will be true, some won't.
Yeah.
So this will remain to be seen. We just can't get caught up on headlines too quick, but yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Boulevard. Boulevard. It is 609. Go holler at him.
Them links should be out soon. I mean, hopefully live Friday evening, we'll have all that linked up for you so we can get the iTunes popping for Riz. You can get his information. I know a lot of his songs. Ralph, I've been playing a lot of that on Viral. That's doing dope. You know what I mean? Albino Gator's doing dope. And of course, Conway the Machine and our man Riz is doing damage as always, man. So we appreciate him.
Definitely.
We got a lot going on. We're going to start doing some giveaways.
Oh, yeah.
I know
coming
for the
up.
Uncensored Truth podcast, we got a lot of dope ideas we've been talking about. Giving some promotion ideas, man, because we want to just be able to promote people and promote and help out as we gain notoriety and we gain popularity, man. Pay that shit forward to a lot of artists, hungry artists out here doing their thing, man. So just stay tuned for all that.
Yes, sir.
Indeed.
Yes, sir. With that being said, man, this is another episode in the books. Episode number 120. We'll be back Thursday, man. Y'all have a blessed day. And we are definitely out of here.
Peace.
Russell Westbrook mixed with Boogie Cousins. Rocking a Damier Louis bucket. Picture on a plane with 50 keys in a... The idea of racism over the idea of industry. They say if people don't have land, they settle for brands. We want Polo Sport and Obama again.
Fuck niggas get money, what the hoes know. But the cops ain't supposed to know what the bros know. Fuck your Dutch, fuck your backwoods, your weed whack. Don't ask me for no favors, I'ma need my shit back. Before the Renaissance, fuck KFC. Let's talk the old Mo's next to VAC. Moving chickens, making chicken, crispy gizzards and them wings. Old pics and midget in them necklaces and rings. R.I.P. K-Miz, I pray my nigga got his wings. My youngin' got bagged and told them coppers not a... R.I.P. D-Band, my niggas got their wings. My youngin' got bagged and told them coppers not a thing. Keep the wins quiet, then we celebrate the losses. Then you start getting called boss by the bosses. Dead bodies, yellow tape wrapped around cautious. My rep is impeccable, my reputation's...